I invite you to write this down. I can't think my way out of an identity that lives in my nervous system. I can't think my way out of an identity that lives in my nervous system. Back in 1977, when I had the long list of health challenges begin, I had no idea that on this 23rd of May, 2026, I'd be filled with tremendous gratitude for everything. Back at the time, learning how to walk again, back at the time, learning how to rewire my brain to do simple things like play my guitar. Little did I know back then that the steps that I took were initiations. The progress that I made, not perfection that I made, but the progress that I made, built a sense of self-esteem and a sense of, yes, I have the ability. I am able. I am applying that ableness, ability, every day in every way to become more powerful, more potent, more graceful, more self-accepting, more self-loving. Little did I know back then that it would set me up for who I am today. And I can honestly tell you that I would not change a thing. Even the things that were painful, even the things that were difficult, even those decisions that I made that were, in hindsight, not the wisest, may have been poor, but were somehow necessary. And the interesting thing is, we can only connect the dots backwards. Nervous system regulation, rewriting limiting beliefs, especially for women entrepreneurs who have been successful in a career already, who know what they want, who have done the spiritual work, who keep going out to the edge but then taking a step back. And when you've walked through the fire, you come out with a heart that understands, and it is not something that can be faked. Our nervous system is pegged at that point where it's no, right at that X. And we make the decision, instead of taking a step back, we run into the fire. That is a potent, powerful point right there. And when we habituate that point, we step up, and we step out. And the key and the signal in the trigger is, I'm at the edge of something brand new and it scares the daylights out of me. What am I going to do? That's at the edge of our capacity. That's at the edge of our nervous system capacity. That's where we were trained to stop. And we can step back and regroup and say, okay, I'm going to wait, or we can move forward. The world needs you to move forward, not to stand back, but to move forward. What does it take to do that? A decision. Decide. Move forward. But what if that old pattern of standing back is in the nervous system? Because guess what? It is in the nervous system. It's part of our physiology. Well, what if that's the case? Now, after working at the intersection of subconscious mind programming, nervous system regulation, and rewriting identities, which is what I call identity architecture, I have found that the quickest way of doing that is mind power, making a decision, going into trance, being guided by someone skillful that has years of experience of doing this with scientifically validated tools. There's a handful select of people that can make that claim. I happen to be fortunate to be one of them, one of the 5 hypnotherapists that were privileged to work with a group of women patients that were in an NIH study comparing drug therapy to hypnotherapy in the treatment of a very significant medical condition that over 30 million American women suffer with. And in the long run, it was determined that those women that were susceptible, those women that had a desire to heal, those women that wanted to use their mind to heal this condition, in the long run, mind power won. NIH funded study. That's the data. That's evidence-based data. So you have science and you have decision. Science and decision. Where those two meet, backed by action, magnificent changes can occur. And we need more of you that know that it's time to go. We need more of you that know that it's time to make a difference in life. What is another year going to cost you of not charging what you're worth, of lowering your standards, of pausing, of binging on yet another Netflix series, of I'll get to it later? What's that 1 year going to cost you? That's the real question. What's that going to cost you? What's another year of not leading by example and demonstrating to those that you love? What's that going to cost you? What's that going to do to your self-image? What's that going to do to your self-respect? What's that going to cost you? What's that fear, false evidence appearing real, going to cost you? Is it worth the price? Or are there people out there in the world that only you can speak to? Are there people out there in the world that only you can reach? Are there people out there in the world that are waiting to hear your voice? But yet there's part of you that's saying, oh my gosh, can I do it? How can I do it?
It's powerful. I'm amazed every time I run one of these challenges, people have breakthroughs. It's not the story that matters most. What most matters is the meaning we give the story.
I built up a lot of negative things about myself, and he had us write it on paper. And then after I read it, I realized I liked that person that I read about on the paper. But other people made it that it was negative. So I felt negative about myself. But really, I liked myself. So that was nice.
And that mess was the best thing that ever happened to me. That mess gave me a framework. That mess gave me a context. That mess gave me a container to hold all that sloppy, painful, ugly, difficult in. I feel very fortunate, very blessed to be doing the work that I'm doing. And I realize that life has happened for me to be able to do this. So I'm going to invite you to go ahead and notice how this video is landing in your body. How you're feeling, what you're feeling in your body as you're watching this video or as you've watched this video. I like to look at it this way. Feeling is the physiology of belief moving through the body. And those feelings create a behavior to move us towards something or away from something, towards life enrichment or away from perceived life danger. And those feelings are messengers because the world needs you. Until next time, this is Christian Raphael, medical support, clinical hypnotherapist. Be kind, be well, be a blessing.